Hello, Professor. Our data story is based on how weather and traffic condition impact the collision in a Toronto. As per our data set, we have three data set. One is the collision records, which contains details like injury and road type. Daily weather data set, which will contain this dataset information about temperature, rain, and snow, and traffic service data, which tells us about the house speed and volumes are vary by the neighborhood. As for our group, we are four members: me, myself, Birwa Chudesama, Nandini, Sander, and Hayao. Now we will go through my data story, which is the most road condition and collision severity. Starting with the road condition, the bubble chart shows how dry road have highest number of collision more than the wet road or the icy conditions. This tells us that the weather is not always the cause. The factor like road design or driver behavior can be the important factor in a collision. On the right hand side, we have seen that the major arterial road will have the most collision. This high speed and high traffic road seems to be carry the greater risk. Facing in like that, the road type can play a major role in a crash frequency and severity. Here we have this like four district in a Toronto. Now we will go through the influence of weather on a collisions. We have tracked the collision alongside the weather trends from 2010 to 2023. From 2012 uh, from 2012 to 2014, more rainfall means more clash. But as rain declined, so did the collision also decline, suggesting a strong link between wet weather and the road danger. With the snow, with the snow, how with the snow, uh, however, the crisis did not rise as much. Likely, maybe drivers are more cautious about the driving. When it's come to the temperature, come to temperature, we see a similar dip in a collision as weather cooled. Fewer trips and slower driving in a cold months could explain that. So weather influences the safety, but it's part of bigger picture that includes the behavior and road planning. Now we will go through the third data story, which is basically accident counts by the road condition across the Toronto city. Here we have used the Toronto neighborhood spectacle file, which combined with our data set. And in this map shows that Toronto and East York with the highest collision on the both wet and dry road. Etobicoke York also shows the high number of highlighting the urban density plays a road clash in a city. On the right hand side, we have the bar chart linked with the collision rate. With the traffic speed, neighborhood like the Bay Street and the Clarion have the both highest speed and high crash count, proving that speed is the major factor. These insights can guide us to speed control and policy and traffic calming zones, and smarter infrastructure can be improved in these areas. Thank you, Professor. That's my three data stories.
Thank you, Bavar. Hi everyone, my name is Huang Haihao. Let's begin with our first worksheet, an interactive map of Toronto. Each dot on this map represents a collision color-coded by severity, ranging from none to fatal. When you hover over a dot, you will see the details like the date, the street name, and the fatal number. You can filter this map by year or by injury type. What stands out immediately is that collision cluster heavily in the downtown core while traffic is dense, but they are also widely spread across the greater Toronto area, showing that no region is immune. This map sets the stage by showing us where collision happens and their severity, but it also raises questions about trends over time and contributing factors. To explore these trends, let's move to our second worksheet, a bar chart showing fatal collision numbers. I've added a reference slide at the average fatal number. Bars above this line are dark blue, indicating unusually high fatalities. Bars below average, in light blue, are showing lower than average years, with 2020 being the lowest, likely due to reduced traffic during COVID lockdowns. Our third worksheet, a heat map. This chart breaks down fatal numbers by road type. The intensity of the color reflects the number of fatalities, with darker shades indicating higher numbers. What's striking is that major arterial and minor arterial roads consistently show the darkest shades, meaning they account for the most fatality every year. For example, major arterial roads alone have the highest fatal number across all road classes annually, likely due to higher traffic volumes and its speed. Next, let's break down deeper. We start with a breakdown of accident causes focusing on speeding, alcohol, and red light violations. When I filter for all year, the data shows that speeding is the leading cause. Let's try set the stage by highlighting what causes collisions, but it also makes us wonder about the drivers involved. Are these crashes tied to reckless behavior or something else? To answer this, let's move to our second chart, a bar chart of driver states. The bars represent driver conditions. What's striking is that none, normal, inattentive, or unknown dominates, accounting for nearly all collisions. This tells us that in most crashes, drivers are in normal states, not impaired or distracted in obvious way. Now let's dig deeper in with our third chart. Driver behavior during collisions, and this shows the behavior of drivers. Remarkably, driving properly and not makes up about 80% of collisions in most years, while behavior like failing to yield, improper turns, or losing control, etc., account for the remaining 20%.
Good afternoon, Professor. Today I will be representing my Tableau dashboard on road collisions of road in Toronto. So let me begin by explaining the first chart, collisions by road during the rainy weather. This is a dual axis line chart that plots the number of vehicles collided on the y-axis, and the x-axis categorizes the data by the road class. The red line here represents the average rainfall, while the black line shows the collision count. What is immediately noticeable is that a significant spike on the major arterial roads, showing over the 25,000 collisions during the rainy conditions. As the rainfall intensity increases, the number of collisions indicating a strong positive correlation between the heavy rain and the average rainfall, and it shows the accident frequency, especially on the high speed traffic areas and the roads which contains very heavy traffic. The second chart is the snowfall versus collisions. This is a vertical bar chart. Each bar represents a day of month 1 to 31 on the x-axis, while the y-axis on the left side indicates average snow, and the bar color here shows the vehicle collisions from light blue to the deep red for the higher collision. This chart reveals that days with higher snowfall levels, especially around the day 9 and the day 17, correspond to the higher vehicle count, and this suggests a direct link between the snow accumulation and the driving hazards, emphasizing the need for increased road safety measures during the snow events. Let's move to the third chart, which is icy collision hotspot in Toronto. This is a scatter map built using the map box, showing the collision prone zones during the icy conditions in Toronto. Each dot here represents a collision locations color coded with the different districts such as Etobicoke for the purple color, North York for the blue color, green color indicates Scarborough, and the blue color indicates Toronto and the neighboring areas. The two filters here average minimum temperature and average speed. This both allow us to explore how this environmental factor affects influence the accidents. The map indicates that the cluster of icy collisions tend to occur in the zones with the lower temperature, moderate to the high speeds, particularly in the downtown Toronto, as you can see, and the surrounding areas to that. This spital can help city planners prioritize the safety efforts and alert drivers in this high-risk neighboring during the freezing periods. Thank you so much, Professor.
Hello, Professor. My name is Sandra. For today's project, I would like to share the 3 data story, and I will presenting for the closing part as well. So the first question is, what time of the day experienced the highest number of accidents? As we can see from the chart, the accident don't happen evenly throughout the day. There is a clear rise in collision of the day progressed in the between 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. This peak hours align with the afternoon commute, when traffic is heavier and driver may fatigue. During the period, most of the accidents happen minor or minimum injury, but also we can see the occurrence of major and even fatal injuries, showing that high traffic volume increase both frequency and severity of the accident. For the second question, it is what speed and injury severity? How does the vehicle speed affected for this for the accident? So in this slide, it showed that the impact of the speed and injury of the severity. On this left side, we can see the small increase in speed lead to more severe injuries. Minor injuries is 37.7 kilometer, and also the fatal injury and the minor injury cluster also 36.7 kilometer per hour. Even minimum injury happen at over 35 kilometer. On the right side, the bubble chart revealed that pedestrians are hit at the highest average speed at 37.32, making them especially vulnerable. Driver and cycling passenger are also affected speed above 35 kilometer, and the line in that even moderate speed can result seriously. The third question is collision outcome and high-risk location. What location in Toronto have a highest accident rate? Overall, in this pie chart, show the major accident, major injury account for over 64% of all collision in Toronto, indicating serious nature of this accident. The map highlighted for the downtown Toronto and its near neighborhood as having the highest concentration of collision, especially involving in cyclists. On the other area also happened the same thing. Here we can see how affect to the pedestrian as well as the driver is affected. So the map highlight the downtown Toronto. It is nearby neighborhood as having the highest concentration of collision, especially involving a cyclist. Other areas like the east and west ends also show dense cluster, but not intense as here. Professor, to conclude this project, our analysis showed that weather, traffic volume, and road type all are play critical role in the motor vehicle collision across Toronto. We found the major injury are most common, especially no arterial road during peak hour or in bad weather conditions like snow or rain, high speed, and certain driver and behavior. Area like downtown Toronto show higher pollution density, especially for pedestrian and cyclists.